So a few weeks ago, you guys, I made a video talking about Justin Verlander and what if the San Diego Padres drafted him. If you want to check out that video, I'll leave a link in the description. But today, you guys, I'm going to talk about Patrick Mahomes and what if the Cleveland Browns drafted him. Before I start though, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell and leave a like on this video. You guys, thank you so much for 250 subscribers. I really appreciate it. We're on the road to 300 subscribers now, so make sure to subscribe if you're new. But without further ado, let's get into it. So you guys, in the 2017 NFL draft, the Browns had the first overall. And we all know what's so good about having the first overall. I mean, there's no other team that has a pick before you, and you can pick literally whoever you want. But the Browns, the player that they drafted was Myles Garrett. And Myles Garrett, I mean, I'm not saying that's a bad pick. Myles Garrett's actually, he's been a Pro Bowl. He's been in the Pro Bowl before, so he's a pretty good player. But what's been happening with Myles Garrett lately? Yeah, not been too good. But anyways, I'm not saying Myles Garrett was a bad pick. It's actually pretty good. But there are other players they could have drafted like Mitchell Trubisky or Jamal Adams, Marshawn Lattimore, Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes, players like that who were really good. But like I said, the Browns decided to draft Myles Garrett, and then after 9 picks later, at the 10th overall, the Kansas City Chiefs decided to draft the quarterback from Texas Tech, Patrick Mahomes. Now, Patrick Mahomes, looking at him before, like when he was like a backup and wasn't a star yet, yeah, to be honest, when I first looked at Patrick Mahomes, I thought he was just one of those quarterbacks who just was good at scrambling, but that's it. Kind of like a Colin Kaepernick. But Patrick Mahomes, a few years later, or a year later, would become one of the best quarterbacks in the game. And the Chiefs are not contenders. I mean, even before that, they had Alex Smith, but we all know how that went. But the Chiefs, they're now a really good team because they have Patrick Mahomes, and he's just been looking really good. But what if, instead of drafting Myles Garrett, the Browns instead decided to do this?
With the first pick in the 2017 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Patrick Mahomes, the second quarterback.
It is Patrick Mahomes, the second.
So here's basically how it's going to work. We're really going to be focusing on the Browns and the Chiefs because they're really just the two teams that are on this topic and are in this video. So yeah, let's just get started. Let's start off with the team that originally drafted Patrick Mahomes, the Kansas City Chiefs. So since the Browns drafted Patrick Mahomes, there was another quarterback they could have drafted, but was drafted by the Chicago Bears, Mitchell Trubisky. Hope I pronounced his name correctly. I'm sorry if I didn't, Bears fans. But anyways, so basically Mitchell Trubisky would be drafted, and after that, there were really just no other quarterbacks. So then after the Chiefs with the 10th overall, instead of drafting Patrick Mahomes because the Browns drafted them, they would decide to draft Deshaun Watson. I hope Texas fans don't hate on this video, because if you do, please just leave the video because you're going to hate this. But yeah, the Chiefs will draft Deshaun Watson and let go of Alex Smith because Smith was getting old and was just not the same player that we all knew he was. So yeah, Smith would go and Deshaun Watson would become the new starting quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs. So now let's go to the 2017 NFL season. Let's focus on both teams, starting off with the Cleveland Browns. So the Browns, obviously, they're going to let Patrick Mahomes be the starter like they do every season. They have a new quarterback, so that's what they're going to do. Patrick Mahomes is going to be the starting quarterback, and Mahomes, I mean, it was his rookie season, so he didn't prove much that year, and I have a feeling that if Mahomes was on that team and he was not that good of a player, because in real life he only had one start in 2017, the Browns would most probably finish the year 6-10. So, like I said with Verlander, kind of be a sneak peek of Patrick Mahomes. So, the Browns definitely had a better season than they did the other years, so that's one good thing. But, yeah, the Browns, they finished here 6-10, and Mahomes, all in all, you could say, not bad for your rookie season. Now let's go to the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs, same thing pretty much with the Browns. Watson, it's his rookie season. You don't know how he's going to do, really. And in real life, he only had 6 starts as a quarterback and had he threw for 1,699 yards. That year, he'd probably be having a lot of starts because, I mean, the Chiefs, they didn't really have anyone else who's a good quarterback. And they'd be finishing the year 6 9-1. So they'd have 6 wins, 9 losses, and a tie. Pretty much like the Cleveland Browns, just with the tie. Now, let's go to the 2018 NFL Draft. Now, originally, the Browns, they had the 1st overall and the 4th overall. But now that the Browns had a better season, they're not going to have those picks. And instead, that would mean that the Giants would have the 1st overall, and they would still stick with Saquon Barkley because, he's a really good running back. So they just stick with their gut, and they say, you know what? We're not going to get Baker Mayfield. We're sticking with Saquon. Then after, pretty much that means the whole draft pile would move. That means the Jets would get the 2nd overall, and the list just goes on and on. But yeah, that's basically what would happen in the draft. And the Chiefs, they really just didn't have a high draft pick that season. So, oof for them. But now let's go to the 2018 NFL season. This is where stuff gets really, really interesting. So we're not going to be going through signings, basically, of teams signing new players and all that. We're just going to be sticking with those 2 players. But this is where stuff will get really interesting, because this would be the breakout season for both players. Let's start out with the Cleveland Browns. So the Browns, they've pretty much improved their team just a little bit, but the Browns would finally make the playoffs because Mahomes was amazing that year. So they would pretty much finish the year 9-7 and just able to make it to the wild card. So yeah, that's how the Browns will do that season. Then after, for the Chiefs, Deshaun Watson, he also had a pretty good season, and he started in all 16. So pretty much like the Cleveland Browns, they would finish the year 9-7 as well. So both teams would finish the year 9-7 because, the Browns, their defense wasn't too good, and the Chiefs, pretty much, their defense was really bad. So we would have a wild card face-off with the Browns and the Chiefs. And here's who would win. Obviously, the Cleveland Browns would win. 1, the Chiefs' defense is horrible when it comes to the playoffs. And 2, they just had the better team. Mahomes was better, so they'd move on. But just because they move on doesn't mean that they will be winning it all. Because they'd have to face the Los Angeles Rams, and you know what happens. They end up losing to the Los Angeles Rams, and the Rams would go on to face the Super Bowl, to go to the Super Bowl, and the rest is just history that happened in real life. But then this year, 2019, we're just going to be talking about the season. Now, let's just talk real here. The Browns would end up getting Odell Beckham Jr., which, if you're asking me, really good move because Beckham is a really good player. And then for the Chiefs, the Chiefs didn't get too many good players in the offseason. They were still really good. So they'll say we're still gonna stick with Deshaun Watson, and pretty much the same team as last year. So here's how both teams would be doing. So let's start off with the Browns. The Browns, so far this year, we've played about 9 games, and they'd be doing really well. I think the Browns this year so far, they would be 7-2. Because Mahomes, I know he did dislocate his kneecap, but we're just going to act like that never happened, okay? So we're just going to say that Mahomes never dislocated his kneecap. So right now the Browns would be 7-2 because Mahomes is just amazing. Then the Chiefs, pretty much the same thing, just a little different. Chiefs would be 6-3 currently. And that's pretty much all to say about this. That's pretty much what I think so far would be happening if Patrick Mahomes was drafted by the Cleveland Browns. If you guys want me to do a part 2 about this, let me know down in the comments. That is going to be for this one. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you all next time. I'm out.